Hello, friends. Today we are here to share and put a spotlight on the third parameter in debt mutual funds, apart from duration and credit, which is liquidity. Now, how does liquidity stack up with respect to the debt market and particularly focus on debt mutual funds? So, liquidity as a parameter first needs to be broken up and understood in the right context. We first start with macro, how the macro economy shapes liquidity in the economy, that is the supply of uh, notes and also electronic liquidity. And then we put a spotlight on the debt markets with particular reference to the corporate bond market. So let us start with the primary motivation for liquidity is the macroeconomy. And this normal ebb and flow of the macroeconomy is determined to a large extent inside India by the two main actors. The government, number one, which controls the fiscal policies. The fiscal policies relate to budget, spending, borrowing, and then RBI, which conducts the monetary policy. Then we have the external interactions with the Indian economy through the forex route, the equity route, and also the debt route. So let me start with the monetary action, which has the biggest role in domestic liquidity. This is called OMOs or open market operations, wherein the RBI buys or sells securities. So when RBI buys securities through OMO, it releases liquidity into the market and vice versa when it sells. The biggest influence of liquidity and these actions for RBI, apart from trying to control the yield curve and also infusing liquidity, is forex. So in periods when the rupee is rapidly appreciating, then RBI tries to impound some of the dollar flows. So if rupee is appreciating on a relative basis, dollar is depreciating, there is more supply of dollars. So to keep our exports competitive and to maintain a balance in the economy, RBI's stated goal is to temper down the volatility on the forex side. So what does RBI do? RBI buys dollars, and when it buys dollars, it infuses rupees into the domestic liquidity situation. Then comes equity. Now, equity, we all know equity also sees flows from foreign shores through FPI and FII. And similarly, if there is a bunch of flows, like these days we have increasing flows from outside investing in the geo platform. There is huge number of private equity and other tech platforms globally who have invested in geo platform for stakes in the geo platform. And that also brings in liquidity, and we have seen some rupee appreciation. So RBI conducts, first it impounds the liquidity through the forex side by either buying or selling dollars, and that releases or takes away corresponding rupee liquidity into the system. Now, this time, most of the money that has gone to the geo platform for stakes in the geo platform has come to domestic debt mutual funds. And hence, we see that liquidity transmitting to the local corporate bond market where the debt mutual funds invest. So this is the macro. Then we focus on the markets, the debt markets in particular. The major market is, of course, the government securities market, both on the primary and the secondary side, but an increasingly important corporate bond market. Now, in the corporate bond market, we have shown in earlier videos and notes what a yield curve is. So, just again drawing the basic yield curve, what happens is this is an upward normal sloping yield curve. What happens is different entities or groups of entities in the market occupy different positions of the yield curve. This position, which is the middle position, some occupy this position, which is a very long dated tenor position. Some occupy the AAA curve, some occupy more of the AA curve. So if you look at different entity types, mutual funds typically are in the mid segment of the yield curve, both on the AAA and the AA curves. Whereas, and insurance companies, the other big players in the debt market. So the biggest players are mutual funds, then insurance companies, then banks, and then PMS, AIF, FPI, and FII investors in the corporate debt market. So mutual funds tend to occupy the middle and the short end of the yield curve across the AAA, AA, and to a very small extent, even the single A segment of the market. So if this is the AAA, remember what we discussed earlier, the AAA, the best credit rating that is possible onshore for a corporate in India, will have the lowest yields. The AA curve will have slightly higher yields, and hence the AA curve will be above the AAA curve, and so on and so forth. So this is the tenor or time period of maturity, and this is the yield or interest rates. So different segments of the market or different groups of entities tend to occupy different positions of the yield curve and across the rating curve. And hence in India, since we are a big emerging market as defined by IMF, the liquidity tends to be lumpy and is determined by flows into each of these entities in the group segment. For example, if there are a lot of flows, client inflows or people purchasing debt mutual funds in India, then this segment, the middle segment, becomes more active. However, if a lot of flows goes to insurance companies, then this segment tends to become more active, and so on and so forth. So it is not only macro driven, it is also the segmentation of the market and their positioning on the yield curve, which determines liquidity. For example, let's take in March when a lot of people exited debt mutual funds. Remember, unlike equity, debt mutual funds, the majority of investors are institutional investors, both banks and corporates. So when in March, liquidity and investors exited debt mutual fund, this segment was the middle segment, and the very short end segment was the highest hit in terms of liquidity. So if you look at this as a 30-year bond, that is where the insurance companies typically tend to operate, because they will match their assets, which are these securities, and their liabilities. For example, an insurance policy. A life insurance policy is typically 20, 30, 40, 50 years. So when the insurance company has to match that with assets, it will go and buy a 30-year AAA rated security. So that is what also determines the liquidity in the debt market. And apart from what RBI does as OMO, how does the government fiscal impact? See, the government through the budget spends and borrows. The spending creates the liquidity, the borrowing removes the liquidity from the market. So in order to prevent spikes, market practices, the government comes out with a borrowing program for the entire year, maybe 5-10% of it changes during the course of the year, but broadly 90% is already known to the market when the RBI comes out with the borrowing program of the government. And hence that does not affect liquidity to such a measure. The third player in liquidity is the banking segment. Now, why are banks so important? Banks are important because of the credit multiplier. So the deposits that flows into banks, remember, an investor can put in a fixed deposit with a bank or put in a debt mutual fund. Both are of similar return expectations. Maybe one is more efficient, but both are of similar return expectations. When the banks get deposits, what happens is the banks will go out and lend a part of that deposits as credit. So for example, Bank A lent 100 rupees to customer A. What does that customer A do? It, first of all, he or she takes that 100 rupees and puts it in his bank, which is Bank B. So that bank which had earlier deposits and lent 100 rupees, that money goes to Bank B. Out of the 100 rupees which is deposited in Bank B, roughly 70 rupees again gets lent out by Bank B to customer C as credit. So this is how the credit multiplier works. When credit multiplier increases, that is when credit lending by banks increases, liquidity in the system increases. Because so many people have borrowed so much, and they will ultimately end up spending. So they would spend on capital goods. For example, in their business, they would buy a new machinery, or they would spend on working capital in the same business, or it could be a customer who goes out and buys a mobile phone. So when that spending happens, that again gets circulated in the economy and liquidity increases. The third area which can also create liquidity is some idiosyncratic events like elections, for example. In elections, whether it's a state election or a central election, we all know a lot of spending happens by political parties. That spending gets immediately translated to aggregates of monetary indicators, what we call M1, M2, and M3. And when that liquidity flows, again, there is a bump up in liquidity in the real economy. But this liquidity comes from some investment. So first what happens, liquidity gets squeezed. For example, excuse me. For example, a corporate takes out money from a debt mutual fund and gives it to a political party as a donation. Now, of course, in India, this is governed by rules and regulations, as is there everywhere in the world. But suppose it happens so close to the election. So first, liquidity gets sucked out because debt mutual funds to, furnish that redemption will sell some debt securities. And hence liquidity in the market comes under pressure. That money goes and ultimately gets spent by political parties. And that creates liquidity in the real economy, which gets spent and again comes back to the system as liquidity. So there are these idiosyncratic events which also happen and need to be watched out and modeled for. RBI, for example, earlier used to have a 12-factor multivariate regression model to model the liquidity in the system. Now, of course, RBI is in a very privileged position to have real-time data, both from monetary aggregates and the government's fiscal side to be able to model this. So to summarize, liquidity in the debt market and in debt mutual funds is driven by, one is macro, second banks, and the third idiosyncratic events like political elections, state elections, central elections. They could also happen because of demonetization, for example. So these are the events which propel or repel liquidity within the overall macroeconomic liquidity cycle. And liquidity is the third parameter of return and of risk, apart from duration and credit in a debt mutual fund. Thank you, friends.